So today what we will do, we already have chat system. We will be building the comment part today, and that comments part is something, you know, when uh, someone wants to talk something about that food thing, so he can comment, different people can come and comment on particular food post. So let's start. I'll explain you more once I open the project. So maybe let me explain you here what I mean by. So when I show all the posts in the list of posts, and when I click one of the posts, it goes to the detail page. And on the detail page, we have the various information, latitude, longitude, and all the other information is there. And then we will also start commenting on that post. So maybe user A will come, he will put some comments on it that this I want this food. Maybe I don't want to directly talk with the user who created the post, but I will put commenting that I like this food. Can you give me something like that? Then user B will come. So it's kind of chatting, but it is related to that commenting on that post. It's not the user chatting one to one. It will be the all people can comment on that post. So it's called the commenting. We will use the commenting. Like in Facebook, someone put the post and then people can comment on that post. So we will put the commenting on our project. The pen still not on. Okay, let's see what pen. Okay, another instance. Running. Okay, now okay, give me a minute. Let it start and then we will continue. Okay, so we have this post. When I go to the detail page, somehow I want to put commenting in this post. So maybe here we will put the commenting, and commenting will be like chat only, but here chat is something one to one, and commenting will be related to this post. So let's create that one. So I will create a folder called as comments, and I will put everything in that folder. Let's go and we have modules. One of the module is a chat module. I'll create another module called as comments. In that comments folder, I will create one file called as comments.js, and I can also create a new file called as comments.css. Penny. I'll open the comments.js, and then I'll create a component. I'll name it as comments, 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 and in the detail page, I will call that comments. So detail page has the ID which for the post ID for which I want to watch the detail page. So let me first call the import comments from, I will say I will go, I'm in the detail page, and detail page is inside list, inside template 1. So if I want to go to comments, it will go one level up, and then one level up, then one level up, three level up, and then it will go to the modules and then comments. So I have to go to three level up, one level up, two level up, three level up. Then I'll go to modules, and then I'll go to the comments, and in the comments I'll call the comments.js, and I'll get these comments and I will call these comments here, let's say below the chat box here. So here I will call this component. Here, let's see how it looks now. So here comments will come. Right now only text is coming. So I want to show the comments, and I want to save the comments based on this post ID. So this is the post ID. So I want to pass this post ID into this comments component. So how to pass this post ID to the comments? This is something we are getting in the URL, and if I want to grab that, it is nothing but this.props.match.params.id. So I want to pass this to this comments because I don't know for which comments I want to save the details. So I will pass id equal to this.props.match.params.id. And if I go here, if I want to see what is coming as a props, I will say console.log comments props are this.props. So it should get that ID which is there in the so if I go to the console.log, comments props are, we are getting the ID from the previous page, and that is this ID. So if I go to another page, another URL, that is Chinese food, I'm getting different ID. So for this ID, I will be doing the comments part. So now you do build this part, and then we'll go further. Create a comments folder inside the module and create two files, comments.css and comment.js. In the comment.js, just put right now this simple component. क्या हुआ क्या हुआ क्या हुआ कुछ नहीं चल छोड़ देता हूँ एक उसको बोलता हूँ फिर छोड़ देता हूँ उनको बोलता हूँ. So just you put this comment. I will be back in a minute. Okay, now you put on this detail.js page, just call this component comments component, and also call call this comments below this link to the chat button. Just add this comment part. So now we will start building it. So I'll build it little bit. I'll build it in little bit fast than previously, for you to just watch it. And if you don't understand, ask me. Since you are familiar with the chat, it is similar to the chat, but I will be little comparatively faster than usual because you ultimately know everything. So before I build this component, what are the steps I will take? What will I build first? So just tell me or type it. I want to build the comments part. So what things I will build first? So first, what things I will build? So I will write down the steps here. So since I want to build the comments part, what is the first thing I have to do? Just think and tell me. So create a form, right? So this is for submitting the comments. What else? URL to save to Firebase. Okay, so if I want to write down the high level steps, I will say create the HTML elements, then create submission to Firebase, and third thing will be to retrieve the data from Firebase. So these three things we have to do. First, we have to create the HTML part. That will be the visibility. And then we will be doing all other things, submission and then retrieving. So these three things we have to do. So I will build the HTML thing right now. So this is the div tag. I will give some class name equal to comments, for example, so that I know that this is a comment. Then I will create a div class name equal to row, and I will close the div tag. Inside row, I will create a div class name equal to whole md12, for example, and I'll close the div tag. Here I will say h3 comments. So I'm displaying the comments in the H3. So this is the H3 one, little bigger. This is the first row. Then I'll copy this one and I'll paste it again. So here I will create some form elements. So for example, I'll say text area type equal to, no, text area does not have type. Class name equal to form control, rows equal to 3, value equal to, some value will come here, and I will close the text area, and maybe I'll put BR tag one, or I can do it with CSS also, but BR is also fine. So this is the text area, and I will create similarly another 12 one whole 12, and here I will use create a button type equal to submit, class name equal to btn dash primary, and form control is to make it whole full width, 100% width, and I will put another BR tag. This is my button. Okay, so this is a comments part, this is a text area, this is a button. I have to put some name here, and then, okay, maybe I'll give the name submit. So submit button is here. So I created a row where I put the form elements. Now again I will create another row. This is where I want to display the results. So this is, once we get the data, we have to display it here. So we will display it once I will create a submission form, and once I get the data, I will display it here. So before we go further, just put this div tag looks on the page. Okay. So since whenever we do some changes in the form, we want to put it in the state. So I will create the state now. I'll say constructor props, and then here I will say super props, and I'll say this dot state is equal to so I will say this dot state is equal to, and then I will say comment equal to, so whenever user will put some comment, I will save it in the comment part. Then when the data will come from the Firebase, I will save it in the data. Initially, I will make it null. I will also use filter term, which we used in the, normally everything that if we want to filter kind of thing. So I use filter also, which we will use it right now, not now, but afterwards. And I will put the page number. and I will put initial page number as 1 for pagination. Now I will create few more functions, but before that you just create a constructor function. Okay, so now I will create few more functions. So whenever the component will be loaded, I have to call the Firebase. I will put that part in the component did mount, where whenever I will get the data from the server, I will put that code here. I will create few more functions. If we remember, for the pagination, we created one function called as onActive page change, and this is a page number. So this is some function when pagination user will click different pagination. So we need this function to paginate from one page to another page. Another function which I will create is called as submit comments. So whenever user put the comments and submit it, we will call this function. So before we fill each function, just create a structure like this. Okay, so now we will fill each function. We will fill each function. So let's go with the first submit comments, because this is the first function we will use. That is, whenever user put something in the text area and click the submit button, we will go to this function. So before even going to this function, we have to make use of this comment part in the view. That is, I will say value will be this dot state dot value state dot comment, and on change I will say I will pass arrow function with event, and here I will say this dot set state, and I have to set state with comment colon e dot target dot value. To see if properly we are getting state in the proper state value, we will take it here. What is the state value? R. Let's see now. So I will empty this, and since I will change, I am getting the state value with the comment updated. So that means it's correct. So now you do this part. Just replace the text area with this code. Okay. Now, since we have this value, so whenever user try to type something in the text area, we will get the state value updated. Now, when user will click the submit button, we will submit it to the Firebase. So now what I will do here, we are in the submit comments. So here first I have to take the user's information, because that I want to say who submitted this post or who commented this post. So to get the user information, I will see in the chat.js what we have. So we have this part to take the user information. So I will put that part here first here. So we get the user information because I want to submit to the Firebase who is commenting. So I want the user's information, and then I will see I will create an object which I will save into the Firebase, and this will have following information. First will be the UID who is submitting the post. So here I will say user obj.uid. Second will be name. I will say user obj.display name. Let's see what is coming in the user obj. I don't remember. So let's see what is coming, and then we will use that one. So once I put some comments, I click submit. Okay, I need to call this submit comment function when user click the submit button. So here I will say on click equal to this dot submit comments dot bind this. So let's see now. So when I submit it, I get the user object. It has display name. So before I write the function, you replace the button with this on click. Okay. So now let's go to our function submit comments. So name will be display name, which is correct. And what we have, so for photo URL, I will take the photo URL also. I will say here as an image is equal to user obj.photo URL. And I want to send the message. What is the message? Message is nothing but this dot state dot comment. And then I want to do create a date. Create a date will be, if you remember, in when we did the create form post, we use this timestamp, Firebase timestamp. So I create this Firebase timestamp. Now we have this object. Now what we will do, we will submit it into the Firebase. So I will create a URL, and it will be Firebase constant dot base path plus comments. So I will create one tree with the comments, and plus I want to use the post ID, which I'm using it here. That is the one. First we have to use comments, and inside we have to put the which post. So I have to put the post name. So I'll say this dot props dot ID, which is coming from the previous page. The detail page is sending with the ID whatever I am surfing. So whatever I'm in detail page, I'm passing the ID here, and that ID will be passed here. So inside that ID, we will save all the comments. And then second line will be var unique ID is equal to a unique ID will be generated. I will use Firebase database dot reference. It will be URL, which is this URL. I'll say dot push, and I will push the object, which is this object, dot key. Key will give me the unique ID, and I will see what unique ID is there. Unique ID is unique ID. And once I submit it to the Firebase, I will empty the comments text box. To empty it, I will say this dot set state comment is equal to empty. So here I'm taking the user information, here I'm taking the object, and here I'm taking the Firebase URL, and I'm pushing it to that URL, and I'm getting this unique ID, and I'll empty the contents of the comment. Since we are using Firebase, so we need to call the Firebase in the above section. So we will call it here, import Firebase from the Firebase database from the, let's see how far we are in this. So I'll go one level up, two level up, and then we have Firebase. So this is fine. So before going further, just add this part in the URL in the top. Then put this part in the submit comment section. Okay. So once you're done with that part, let's test it. So I'll refresh the page. I'll put some comments and I click submit. It's still not coming here. That means something is wrong. I didn't save it. Now I saved it. I'll put some comments and I'll click submit. I will see unique ID is here. And okay, so we got the unique ID, this one. Let's check the database. We have food donation, we have comments part. Inside comments part, we have, okay, let's delete this one and I'll create it again. So let's put it again and I click submit. We get this comment part, and this is what? This is a post ID, which get it here. This is the same. And then we get the first comment, which has its own unique ID, and these are the details. If I put another comment, you will see another comment is created inside that post, and we have some information. We have another post created with some information. So like that, for each post, we have different comments. So this submit part is working fine. I'll remove the console.log. I don't need it. Now I will go to the display part. Before display, I'll just fill this function on active change. In this part, I will just update the state variable of page number to the page number which is coming here. So here I will say this dot set state, and I'll say page number is equal to page. So this page will be updated with the page number. So we have the page number, that is only we are updating here. So just create this function. Now we will fill this component date mount. So whenever the page will load it, we will call the Firebase and we will get it some array which we will save in the data. It's not date, it should be data. Just change this one data, and then data I will show it here below this comments part. So let's finish this function. So here first I have to create the Firebase URL which I want to call. So this is nothing but this URL. So it will be props.id, which I want to check it. And then I will create a reference. To create a reference, I will say Firebase database dot reference. It will be URL. And I will take the last 500 commits. So I will say limit to last 500. I will get last 500 post. Then I will say reference dot off. Whenever we call the reference dot on, we have to do reference dot off first. Then I will say reference dot on, and I will say value, and here I will create arrow function. Arrow function will get a parameter called a snapshot, and that snapshot will be used here. So here we will get a snapshot dot wall. So I will create a records, a variable records. It will be having snapshot dot wall, and I will see whether records is coming or not. So I will click this one and I'll click submit. Once I click submit, you will see I get the record with all the comments. So we have the data in the form of the records. So if we don't have records, let's say it's the first time or we don't have records, I will say if no records, I will just empty the data. This state data should be empty. So I will say this dot set state data is equal to null. When we don't get record, I want to empty the data so that user cannot see anything, and I'll return it. If we have record, that is some value is there in the record, we'll go further, and I will create one array called as my array is equal to array, and then I'll loop through all the values of the record. So I'll say for var key in records, and then I'll say my array dot push object. I will say object, and object I will create it here. For object will be equal to records of key. So each row will be in the form of records key, which I will assign it to object, and object will push to the my array. And here I will check the my array. What is my array coming? When I refresh, you will see it here. My array is 4, and I see all the records with who commented what. So we are getting it in the my array. Hello. Hello. Okay. So okay. So now what I will do, if you see each post, okay, let's say, okay, I will go more detail later. Now I want to show timestamp also when this post comment was commented. Right now it's created date. We have to create something like time ago, 5 seconds ago or 10 seconds ago, as we did in the chat. So for that, I will import the time ago from the functions. So I'll say import time ago, and I will also import process records from two level up. I'll go two level up and I'll go utilities, and then I'll go functions.js. I'll also get the paginator. So I'll say import paginator from utilities paginator.js, which we did in the same thing in the cat one. And when I'm looping through it, I will create one object.dt, that is the date, and it will take time ago, and it will take the created date which we used while inserting, that is this created date. So it will be object.date equal to time ago obj.created date. So this is the value which is in the database. I convert it into the something like this and save it into myArray. Let's see now what is the myArray is. So it has date which is saying 8 minutes ago. It was committed 8 minutes ago, and this one was committed 8 minutes ago, 7 minutes ago, and 4 minutes ago. So we have all this information, and in the end, what we will do once we get this myArray, I will put it in the state. So I will say this dot get state, and I say data is equal to myArray. I put everything in the state. So now this function is done. We are getting the records from the Firebase. So just create this function. So that's it for today. What import? Import statement. Okay. Sorry. So we are able to get the details and we are able to submit the comments. The only thing will be remaining is displaying the comments here, which we will do tomorrow.